Okay, big news around Fortinet. They just updated their new certification program on October 1st, 2023. And in this video, we're going to look into the details of this new program. But first, we're going to look at how the previous program was structured so that you can have an idea what the difference is between the previous one and this new one. If you're new to Fortinet certification, if you want to become a Fortinet cybersecurity expert, analyst, you name it, so then this will be a great video for you to get started. Now, if you are already familiar with Fortinet certification program or even Fortinet products, this is also great because you'll be able to understand what's your current path and what's the next step you have to take in your journey as a cybersecurity expert. Fortinet did a great job by creating a knowledge base page where you can find different questions related to this new certification program, especially if you are already a Fortinet certified professional and you want to get into more details about some of the things related to this new certification program, and for things that probably I won't cover in this video. So I'll share the link to this page in the video description, and I strongly recommend that you take a look at it. One thing that I really enjoyed about this new certification program is that there are no pre-requirements to take any exam. So for instance, if you want to get started at the foundational level, yeah, you can do it. But if you also want to take an exam at the professional level or even the expert level, you can do it also. It all depends on your current level of expertise, how confident you feel about a certain product or a certain technology. So it's all just a matter of how good or great you think you are to take an exam. So kudos to Fortinet for that. Now let's take a look at Fortinet previous certification program. So they had 8 levels divided in 4-ish categories. You had at NSE 1, 2, and 3 the associate level. So in this level you learn things such as basic introduction to cybersecurity, risks, threats, this kind of things. At the professional level, or NSE 4, this is where you actually started to interact with Fortinet products such as the FortiGate. Then you had the NSE 5 that they consider the analyst level, then NSE 6 and NSE 7, and by the end the NSE 8. So in these different levels, you were required to be certified on the previous level before taking an exam on the upper level. So you couldn't just take the NSE 6 without meeting some requirements from level NSE 5 in that order. And this is one of the major differences between the previous program with the new one. Now in this new certification program, they kind of kept the same hierarchy, meaning you have level at the bottom and you have level at the top. So starting at the bottom, you have the Fortinet Certified Fundamentals. This is kind of the introductory level into cybersecurity, Fortinet security solutions, and where you really learn how to use Fortinet products is at the associate level, or where you learn how to operate the FortiGate. So that's Fortinet firewall product. So then you move on to professional level, and then you have the solution specialist, and at the top you have the expert level. Again, I just want to highlight that there are no pre-requirements to start, for instance, at the fundamentals level. Now it all depends on your current level of expertise, how often you've been using Fortinet security solutions, how confident you are on operating a FortiGate, FortiAnalyzer, FortiMail. So depend a lot on your current experience on Fortinet products, and you can choose which level or which exam you want to take, and based on the requirements at a specific level, then you'll be awarded a certain badge or a certificate. But we're going to talk more about this in the video, so just want to highlight this. Okay, we'll begin with Fortinet Certified Fundamentals. And this is kind of an introductory level, so more specific for those who want to get started into cybersecurity, just as they mentioned, an entry job role in cybersecurity. So what are the trainings that you'll find in this certification? So you have the getting started in cybersecurity, you have the introduction to the threat landscape, and you have the technical introduction to cybersecurity. Now, to become FCF, so someone certified on this level, you must complete the core course. In this case is the introduction to the threat landscape, and you have to complete also one elective course, and this can be either getting started in cybersecurity or technical introduction to cybersecurity. So at each level you have different requirements. In this case you have to take the course, the core exam, and also one of the elective exams, and if you pass successfully you'll become an FCF. And these exams they are free, you don't have to pay them, and even the trainings, they are available for free on Fortinet Institute. So if you hold any certification, in this case NSE 1 or NSE 2, you will be migrated into this certification. Now I'm not going to cover all of the requirements and conditions that one must have in order to be migrated to this new certification program, because there are just so many conditions, but I'll share this document in the video description as well, and also the link where you will be able even to contact Fortinet in case you want more details about your current level and how it's going to be reflected in this new certification program. Now the FCA, or Fortinet Certified Associate, this validates that individuals, that professionals are able to operate the FortiGate device. In order to be awarded to become a FCA, you only have to take the core exam and the training FortiGate operator. So there's just one training that you have to take, and there is only one exam that you have to take. Again, this exam is free, you take directly at Fortinet. Okay, now there is no migration from previous certification, just to highlight this point there. Now the Fortinet Certified Professionals has different tracks inside this level, and the first one is the Fortinet Certified Professional Security Operations. We have different trainings just at security operation track. You have the FortiGate Security, FortiGate Infrastructure, FortiGate Immersion, FortiSOAR, SOA, whatever. Administrator, you have Fortinet Analyzer Analyst, you have FortEDR, and you have FortSIEM. Now, in order to be awarded or to become an FCP in security operations, you have to pass 2 of the elective exams. So there are no core exams at this track. So if you pass these 2, you'll be awarded or you'll become an FCP in security operations. Now these exams, they are delivered by PersonView, so that's the entity responsible for delivering these exams, and you can either take the exam at your home, at your office, just remotely, or you can take by going directly at an authorized training or certified training center, and it will cost you $200. So if you have to take 2, $400. So there are some conditions. In case you are already Fortinet certified, this level it's eligible to migration. Okay, so moving on to the next one, and that's the FCP Cloud Security. Now, what are the exams or the trainings in this track? So you have FortiGate Security, FortiGate Infrastructure and Immersion, just like we saw on the previous one, Security Operations. And you have FortiMail, FortiWeb, and Cloud Security for Azure, Cloud Security for AWS. In order to be awarded an FCP in Cloud Security, you must pass one core exam, core being either the Cloud Security for Azure or Cloud Security for AWS, and one elective exam, in this case either FortiWeb, FortiMail, or FortiOS. Now each exam costs few $100, so in total you would have to spend $400. Now moving to the next one in FCP, we have the Fortinet Certified Professional Network Security. You have some of the same trainings like we saw in cloud, and also public clouds, and you have security operations. So the trainings are FortiGate security, infrastructure, and immersion. The new ones are FortiManager, FortiClient EMS, FortiNAC, FortiSwitch, FortiAnalyzer, FortiAuthenticator, and Secure Wireless LAN. Now, in order to be awarded an FCP in network security, you must pass the core exam, so NSE Fort iOS. In order to be ready for this exam, I would say it is the combination of these three trainings, and you have to also pass one elective exam. So you have here description of which one is the elective exam, so you choose each one you want to take, and each exam will cost $200. Again, this exam is also eligible to migration, so just take a look at the document or at Fortinet website. So that's all for FCP. Now let's move on to the Certified Solution Specialist, and we also have different tracks in this certification. So the first one is the FCSS OT Security. You only have one training and only one exam, and that's the OT Security. So if you pass this exam, okay, you become an FCSS in this specialization, and it's also eligible to migration. The other one is the FCSS in Security Operations. The training for this track is Advanced Analytics, so if you pass this exam, you become an FCSS in Security Operations. It's also eligible to migration, and I forgot to mention that FCSS it will cost $400. So just one exam, $400. Okay, and the same for FCSS in Security Operations, but not all of them will cost $400, and we're going to see this in a minute. Now the other one is the FCSS in Public Cloud Security. So there is one training, and that's the Public Cloud Security. So if you pass this exam, you become an FCSS in Public Cloud Security. It is also eligible to migration, and it will cost you $400. Now the last one, is it the last one? I believe there is another one. Yes, there are two more for security specialization or specialty, and that's the network security. The network security, there are two trainings that you have to take, or in case you want, and to actually you have to. It's not optional. So you have the network security support engineering, so that's the elective exam, and you have the core exam, the enterprise firewall, and you also have the SD-WAN and LAN edge. To become an FCSS in network security, you must pass the core exam and one elective. So the core in this case is the enterprise, and then you would have to choose one of the elective exams if you want to become an FCSS in security solution. Now, because you have to take two exams, each exam will cost you $200. And this is also eligible to migration. The last one is the FCSS in Zero Trust Access, or ZTA. There is only one training and one exam, that's Zero Trust Access. And if you pass this exam, well, you become an FCSS in ZTA. You know, you're a ZTA specialist. Looks great, right? And this will cost you $400 because it's just one exam. So that's all for security specialty or specialization. So if you want to become a specialty or specialize in one of these tracks, go for it. Now for the last level, or the highest one in this Fortinet program, that's the Fortinet Certified Expert. And this track, it's actually made of 2 exams. So you have the written exam and then you have the practical or lab exam. Now, in order to be ready to take the written exam, Fortinet actually recommends you to take the previous trainings that you have in FCP and FSS. So it's just it's kind of, you should already be familiar with the technologies around Fortinet security solutions before taking the written exam. And if you pass the written exam, then you'll be eligible to take the practical exam. So you can't schedule or take the practical exam without passing first the written exam. So as I say, you are an expert before taking the exam, and the exam just certifies that you are already an expert. So if you are in that level, yeah, go for it. And if you pass the written, then you can schedule the practical or lab exam. They recommend some training again, and there are some sample questions for the written exam. They have certification public handbook, just kind of to give you directions on how the exam or how to take the exam, and also the immersion workshop. They kind of also prepare you for the exam. Okay. Now, again, as I said, you have to pass both the written and the practical exam to become a Fortinet certified expert. Now, the written exam costs $400, and the practical exam, it costs $1,600. The written exam, just want to highlight some details, is very similar to the previous exams on the other tracks or the other levels. But for the practical exam, it's I believe 9 hours length. So you have to do it in 2 sessions in the same day. So first you have 4 hours in first session, and then you have 5 hours at the second session. Okay, so you have to, for the practical exam, you have to design, deploy, troubleshoot, operate an existing infrastructure, so with different Fortinet products. Okay, so those are the different levels and what to expect at each of these different levels. There's a lot. Now let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Which certification should you take, or which track should you attack first? And actually, this is the wrong question to make. So it's not about which exam you should take. It's about which professional role you want to take. Okay? Certifications, they just certify that you are a professional, that you are an expert. It doesn't matter if you take all these certification, but on a daily basis, you can't deliver what you are certified on. Okay? It just doesn't make sense. And even if you do so, let's suppose you take all of these exams, you pass, but if you can't deploy FortiMail, you can't explain what is the difference between FortiWeb, FortiNAC, why do I even need a Fort Authenticator? And you are a professional certified in these tracks, in these technologies, it will actually hurt you professionally. So which approach should you take? Instead, you should focus on the certifications that will help you in your role. Even Fortinet, they have this program where they can recommend which paths, which certification you should take according to a specific role. So let's just take a look at some of them. For instance, network security. So if we take a look at this program, this is what they recommend. So you should be familiar with the FortiGate security, also FortiGate infrastructure, FortiManager, and the enterprise firewall. So you don't have to follow that hierarchy, for instance, FCP, FCA, then FCSS. You can just, okay, I want to focus only on network security. I want to be able to manage FortiGate devices to deploy on a company, manage them, multiple FortiGate devices using FortiManager, and how does it work, the different scenarios, complex scenarios. Okay, so you should just focus on these exams or these trainings. Again, you don't have to pass the exam, you can just take the training to learn how the technology works. Okay, now let's take a look at another example. So zero trust access. So what do you have to learn in order you want to become a Fortinet expert on ZTA? So again, you should be familiar with FortiGate security, FortiGate infrastructure, but there are some specifications for this role: FortiClient EMS, FortiNAC, and secure wireless LAN, FortiVoice, FortiAuthenticator, and secure access. Okay, so you can be specific to which certifications you want. Let's just take a look at one more example. So security, that's actually the same. Security operations, yes. Let me close this. Oh no, that's different. Yes, security operations. So this is for those who want to work at a SOC, so as a SOC analyst, just looking at the logs, understanding the different threats at a company, okay, making sense of all the different SIEM tools. So what are the trainings that you should take? So FortiGate security, FortiGate infrastructure, and then you have FortiAnalyzer, FortiSIEM, advanced analytics, FortiSOAR design and development. Again, so instead of just trying to get all the certifications that you think you can't but won't help you in your role, just take this approach and pick the ones that will help you to achieve a specific target, a specific role in your company or for future projects that you might have. Okay, there was a lot to cover around this new Fortinet certification program, but we had to do it. So now I hope that you have a better understanding about this new certification program so that you can choose not the best certification just because it's easier, just because it's cheaper, just because it's harder, but the one that will help you on building your professional career. Okay, it's about learning the technology, it's about understanding the technology so that then you can provide solution for companies. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful and I hope to see you in the next one. Adios. The last one is the expert level, and this is like the super Saiyajin, in case you are into Dragon Ball thing.